Support for All In is brought to you by Manscaped. Listen, we're all stuck inside right now and thinking about how to keep things nice and clean and hygienic, Fruity. Mm-hmm. It's important, especially if you're stuck at home with a significant other. Listen, Manscaped is the only men's brand dedicated to below-the-waist grooming and hygiene. And Fruity, I've been using their products and they're fantastic.
Yeah, what do you like about them?
Manscaped has a redesigned electric trimmer. The engineering team, 18 months to perfect it. Oh my God. New and improved Lawnmower 3.0. The third generation trimmer features cutting-edge ceramic blade to prevent manscaping accidents. And let me tell you, if you don't want an accident, you don't want it down there. You know what I'm saying, Fruity?
Yeah.
You don't want it down there. Manscaping accidents are finally a thing of the past. Yeah, Leo, it's just amazing. Trust me. There's a lot of features. There's a cool LED light that illuminates, Fruity, right? And it helps you with those tight-knit areas. Around the testicle sac is one of those tight-knit areas. Okay. Let me tell you that.
Would you recommend me getting this for Marcus?
I would, because there's a charging stand, right, where you can charge and show off the mower and show everyone that you're very hygienic. Get 20% off free shipping with the code ALLIN at, where is it, Fruity?
Manscaped.com. That's 20% off, free shipping at
Tell 'em.
Manscaped.com. Use the code ALLIN. Purchase the new Perfect Package 3.0 kit online. And you can subscribe to Manscaped to get 20% savings on your order instantly. And replacement blades for your lawnmower, scent trimmer thing, down ball thing.
Get it all.
Down there. Yeah, and you get free gifts.
Two free gifts. Listen, you get the Shed travel bag for $40 value and the patented high-performance anti-chafing Manscaped boxer briefs. I'm wearing them right now. They're fantastic. Manscaped.com. Go check them out.
Back to the podcast.
So today we were going to talk about fun, amazing, great things such as loser fruit. My lovely host over here, hello. Fruity. Her skin was coming out on Fortnite. Bazz loves Fortnite. We're joined by Bazza. Hey!
You said
Bazza
me
loves
before you introduced me.
Huh?
You're supposed to,
Oh no! Oh,
it's
terrible!
like, welcoming Bazz.
Oh.
Do like a,
Oh, man. Welcoming Bazz.
I'm on camera.
Oh, he's on camera. Wow, looking very handsome, looking beautiful. But
Thank you.
so we were going to talk about happy, fun go times, but I don't think it felt very natural this week with the injustices happening in America right now. We will be leaving links in the descriptions or comment sections to support the Black Lives Matter movement, and just a whole bunch of places where you can sign petitions and, you know, where there is no peace, there is no justice. Where there's no justice, there is no peace. So, you know, from everyone at the All In podcast, everyone who works on it and all of that kind of stuff, we just want to say, you know, our hearts go out to all those affected. And we're wishing America the best right now throughout this time, and fighting for what's right is extremely important. So, yeah, I think today we're not going to be talking about the happiest of things. In fact, from that, we're going to move on to talking about quarantine stuff and coronavirus and COVID-19 and where that's all going. And, you know, we'll try to lighten it up a little bit for you, but we just really wanted to send that out to the world. So, yeah, the gyms in Australia, they opened back up on the 13th of June. Baz, how do you feel about... Yeah.
Been closed for months.
Yeah, they've been closed.
Literally feels like a year in gym time. I don't know. It's like the same as like dog, like dog years. If you don't go to gym for like a week, it converts to like 7 weeks.
I want you to know, I feel disgusting, and I'm eating a lot of ice cream. I'm eating a lot of, you know, yummy, delicious food. But the problem is with yummy and delicious food is it's usually extremely bad for you.
How is Marcus?
How is Marcus, Fruity? Fruity's boyfriend, Marcus, loves the gym.
Give me some intel. He's my main competitor for gym, and I need to...
Yeah, back in the day, you guys would compare arm and shoulder size, and Marcus was like, I
don't think we'd both want to do that now, to be honest. I think we both embarrass ourselves.
Who do you think's stronger, Baz, right now? You or Marcus? Go on.
Right now?
Yeah, right now. Who's the bigger man?
Bigger man.
Oh, okay.
If you're talking about actual big, like I am
tall. Oh, man.
More room for muscle mass on the actual body. Bigger frame to work with. I haven't seen Marcus since I left the fucking house, so I don't know what he
same.
actually looks like.
He's avoided
He's
camera like
Oh,
crazy.
Yeah, I would imagine. He sent me like a photo of him when he was shredded like a few days ago, and I was like, oh, what about like a recent?
Yeah, it's oh man, that doesn't count anymore.
Yeah,
That's,
he's reminiscing on old photos.
that's 8 years old. Like,
Yeah.
Well, you know how like the regular person is kind of, stressed and they eat when they're stressed? I don't know, maybe that might not be the regular person. Maybe that's just me who goes to the kitchen way more often than I should. But Marcus is not that person. He's someone who doesn't eat at all. He just forgets.
Oh, yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so unless I feed him,
No, I used to be like that. Like, I used to not, before like gym stuff, I used to like not eat till like after midday. Like, especially if I was like streaming or something, I just wouldn't eat. Like, when you take away gym as well, like, yeah, like if I didn't have to eat to like give myself like nutrients, I probably wouldn't. Like, I don't really enjoy eating. Is that weird to say? I don't enjoy like eating.
No, I've said that before, and people,
Yeah.
I think it was I don't know, I think we were out at a club or something like that, and I literally said that, and everyone kind of like weird champed me. They thought I was like weird and strange
Yeah.
for saying that I don't actually enjoy the act of eating, and someone was like, what about like when you go to a restaurant?
What about like a cake?
Yeah, what about like, do you like chocolate? It's like, yeah, man, I like chocolate, but I'm not eating chocolate every minute, dude. Like,
Yeah.
eating is boring, and like,
Yeah.
especially when you go into the gym, like, fuel is energy, but energy tastes like shit. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
sip petrol. That's shit. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why I just mentioned sipping petrol.
What age did you guys start like noticing how you looked?
Oh, like actually like looking at yourself.
Mine wasn't till late. Mine
Mine was
late.
really late. Like, not
Really
even
late.
kidding, like after high school. Like,
Mine was like 23 for me, I think.
yeah, throughout high school, I did not give a shit. I would like put on a shirt and like pants, and that's it. That's my, maybe I'd never do anything with my hair or anything unless like it was for like an event, I guess. But I never really like looked at myself and be like, man, I like compared myself to other people. I don't know if that's a dude thing or if it's like more of a girl thing to like compare yourself. But for me, like, I don't know. I never really
You never
looked at
like
others.
saw like actors and were like, oh, that's what a buff guy looks
No,
like.
it's
No.
weird. No,
No.
now that I
Really?
think about it, it's weird. I'd be like, oh, that's like a good looking person, I guess. But I'd never be like, oh, I want to
I want
want
to be Chris Hemsworth. Like, no, I'm not
Yeah.
really.
Oh.
It was weird. My mentality for like being fit and working out as a kid was like, oh, like you're just like born like that. There'd be like one shredded dude at school, like, man, he's lucky. He's like shredded. It never like crossed my mind where it's like, oh, you just have to work for that and then you get it. It was like, I don't know. I
Yeah,
had a
no,
weird
I can,
thought process with that.
I can understand that. We didn't really talk about muscles in high school, to be honest. You didn't really notice it. And I actually can't imagine anyone having muscles or talking about working out in high school. But like as me, I started noticing it like when I was 13 or 12 and
What?
just started comparing myself to people. And I'd do this thing where I was in the mirror and I like turn to the side to see if my stomach was flat and then compare it to someone like an actor and be like, there's a slight.
It might be weird. Every time I've stood in a mirror, I've never like turned to the side and been like, "Oh."
I've
man,
never
look at
once
this. I've
turned
never,
to
like,
the side.
turned.
Yeah, I've
I
never.
stand forward and like completely
And-
parallel to like the mirror.
You just do
go,
the tense. You just,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, look at me. I'm a goddess. Oh, goddess. Oh, man.
God,
What else?
Oh, man. But apparently they open up on the 13th of June. How do you
Yeah.
think it will go, like, with the restrictions of the
I think
corona
it'll
stuff?
go the same as the start of the year. In the sense that like there's a big surge of people being like, oh, they're open and it's an excuse to go back, which is good. But I don't think there'll be many survivors that stay long after that.
Well, there'll
It'll
still
be like
be
a big
limits,
surge for a
won't there?
bit.
When there be
Yeah,
like,
there'll still be. I think there's still
limits on how
but-
many people are allowed in, so there might be a line for the gym.
Oh,
Could you imagine waiting outside for the gym? Oh my god! Also, bars reopen, like casual bars and all of that kind of stuff. Do you think people are gonna like?
going out partying?
Are you
every
gonna?
weekend.
You're not gonna be that guy, Fruity, who like runs out and
I'm
goes
not gonna be
partying
that
at the
guy.
No, you're not gonna be that guy. No.
No. I'm not just because I'm like a little bit. Honestly, I've enjoyed not seeing people. I'm not gonna lie, but well,
Okay. Oh, that's why you're not picking up the phone.
but I also wouldn't just. It just honestly feels too weird to just go back into it and pretend it's normal again. You know?
Can I be honest with you? Are you ready? Because I'm going to expose myself a little bit. I have been leaving the house now for the last maybe 2 to 3 weeks, like going out shopping and seeing friends at cafes and things like that. There, I said it out loud. I've been that guy going out. And
That's
not
fine.
allowed?
Yeah,
it's allowed in Australia right now, but, you know, some people would still frown upon it. Just to make it clear, the restrictions are you are allowed to go out here in Australia. It's not like America, I think, is in still full lockdown, but it's easing up here. I mean, we're an island, like, you know, and I think our restrictions really did dissipate the infection rate pretty quickly of corona. But yeah, I've been going out and, man, it's crazy out there. I will say that. It is different. It is different.
Is there less people walking around?
Yep.
Or is there... Yeah.
No, less people, especially in the mall. Especially in like cafes and stuff like that. They have restrictions and the chairs are all marked. And when you walk into a cafe or bar, not a bar, sorry, but a cafe or like a place to eat, they've got like hand sanitizer everywhere and it's mandatory. They'll spray your hand. Like you're not allowed in unless you do it. And there's always someone standing there like watching. And yeah, there's a way less people walking around, but I did see a lot more families around. I went out today to buy a cool new jacket. Here, let me show you.
Wow, that looks not. Wait,
wow, cool. Yeah.
It's good.
Wow.
Maybe
Dude,
that's
that's
Do a
nice.
spin one.
Oh
It
yeah.
fits your...
Yeah, my body. Yeah, it does fit. Oh, I'm looking real nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised there aren't more like businesses. I mean, maybe there is, but it's just like unrecorded. But I'm surprised there aren't more businesses that like are just shut down now because they couldn't survive like the 2 months without.
Apparently,
customers.
Virgin Air, like Virgin Air is like gone and stuff like that. Like the Australian branch is like doesn't exist.
I have a few friends in retail and they said there's been heaps more people in. There's been saying that people really? They're like, it's kind of like weird how no one is respecting it. And then
Wow. Oh, I will say this. Yeah, I'm from Wollongong, and so there's less people just in this area. When I was in Sydney, packed. People everywhere. I went for a haircut. People everywhere. No one was like worried. No masks. No gloves. I wear a mask like when I leave. I don't care if I look like an idiot. I got like a bag of them. And man, Sydney, you wilding out.
Yeah.
Watch out there. What you doing?
That's one thing about like Australia sometimes is like we're very chill on like a lot of stuff, but then sometimes we can be a bit too chill.
Yeah, the Australian culture is like,
Certain
why are you wearing a mask for? Can't get you.
Yeah, like what are you an idiot?
Yeah,
Mask? You scared of invisible disease?
This is in America?
I'm more nervous, or maybe not. I'm not actually probably not nervous, but like interested to see how our lives are a bit longer after it's like, yep, COVID's kind of like basically sorted. I don't know if you can ever really get rid of cold. I'm not educated enough to know how like eradicating like a really like deadly cold disease works.
Did you say cold?
No, I was gonna say cold, but it's not.
It's not the cold.
It's not the cold. It's a little bit. Yeah. I'm kind of interested to see how, even like economically, how if anything's going to be impacted. Like, are we going to have like a global like crisis where it's like, oh man, that those 2 months of like slow business has really caught up and it just completely fucks everybody. Or we're going to be fine. Maybe everything will just be fine and everyone will be happy.
Fruity, you know how you just bought a house?
Yeah.
Do you think that the things... Do you think that the things about like house prices like dropping like astronomically like by 20% will impact you in any way, or do you regret getting a house now, or are you just happy as Larry?
Do you think I should have waited a few months if it
well,
dropped?
I don't even know if it
thing.
will drop. Maybe you wouldn't have gotten your beautiful home that you wanted if you had waited. So it's like you're probably happy, but have you read anything about, you know, houses dropping or anything?
No. I'm in a pretty good area, so I feel like it'll be fine where I am.
You just think with like houses and stuff as well. It's like, sure, it like drops and stuff, but like it's not like Kat's going to be like selling that house during COVID. You know
It's like you live in that house
like,
for so long.
I feel like over time, you like land is just always going to be more valuable just as more people like, you know.
Need to live.
Yeah, just
as the
fill the world.
population.
Like the population's just going to keep doubling every fucking 20 years or whatever. I think it's just always going to be good. If you own land, it's like, I don't know. I feel like you're pretty well off.
How do you guys feel about, and this is a little bit late on the news, but as we're coming out of quarantine, I guess it's interesting, Elon Musk kind of demanding that he be able to go back to work. If you don't know, he kind of took a stand and said, you know, regardless of restrictions of lockdown, we are going back to work. Do you think that that's okay? Do you think, like, as a people, we have a freedom even during a lockdown to say, no, I'm a human being and I'm allowed to leave my house?
It's hard. Yeah. That's hard. I don't know. That's why I think, like, Australian culture and American culture is, like, very different. Like, I can understand, like, a lot of Americans being like, yeah, like, I want freedom. Like, it's in their, like, rights or whatever. But I don't know. I'm not really educated enough on, like, the whole, like, how deadly it actually is for more people to be and how much more risk it actually puts on everyone when they're going back to work. Like, if they've all been... I mean, surely you just increase, like, measures regardless, right, for, like, cleanliness and, like, cleaning yourself before you actually go into work.
Like, if you are going to take the risk, like, you should still take measures to stay protected?
Oh, yeah, like, regardless, I think if there's, like, if it's gotten to this point where it's, like, a global pandemic, realistically, of, like, a disease, it's, like, regardless, we should be getting better, like, measures of, cleaning ourselves up and stuff, but I don't know to what extent. Because a lot of people were saying that, obviously, the longer we take getting over it now, the bigger impact it's going to have on the economy and stuff in the future. But it's like, dude, I don't fucking know. I failed maths. I got no idea.
Baz, you stuttered throughout that. You're like,
I don't want people to think that I know what I'm talking about, because I have no idea.
Yeah.
I just want people to be very
aware. Well, what about this? If the restrictions impacted your job, like streaming and YouTube, which it doesn't, Fruity, do you think you are someone who would go back to work a little bit earlier, even though the government said don't do it, it's too risky? Do you think you'd be someone who would take the risk?
Depends on my financial situation. If I needed to, if I had people to take care of, 100%. There's a lot of people that got really bloody fucked over by lockdown and need the money, and there's been other consequences. Have you ever seen, like, there was a documentary about what's happening? I know it was a documentary. It was just a YouTube video about what's happening in India, and they have, like, a huge, much bigger, what do you call it? Economic gap between the rich and the poor, and their poor is getting just screwed over, and just bloody suicide rates are just, it's...
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking the first time, when this all initially happened, I remember there was, like, footage in the middle of Sydney and, like, Times Square and, like, places where a major amount of people congregate around, and it was, like, empty, you know, like, no one's there. And I thought, man, what about all the homeless people that, you know, usually busk on the side of the road or, you know, sit on the side of the road and try to get a few bucks so they can eat? And with everything closing down, I wonder how, like, homeless shelters kind of, like, put up a fight against how many people were coming in. I don't mean put up a fight. I mean, like, how did that institution of, like, homeless shelters do under the like, crippling fucking force of all these people coming in all at once, needing food, needing housing? Like, I wonder if we're not getting the full, like, statistic on how many homeless people maybe sadly passed away or couldn't get food or really struggled, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's why I feel like this whole thing, I don't know if I, like, know enough. I feel like I don't know enough about, like, what's actually like, I haven't been told enough about what's actually happened. Like, it feels like, oh, it's like a disease. Oh, it's happened for 2 months. We'll get out of it. We'll move on. But I don't know the actual, like, statistics of, like, businesses, homeless people, all that kind of stuff, where it's like, how has it actually affected them?
Well, I feel like the year of 2020 is kind of that lesson that we can't ignore the plight of others anymore, because then it does erupt. And I'm not just talking about what's happening in America. I mean, even with just Corona, thinking about those who need our help, that we kind of turn a blind eye to. during this corona stuff, it's like, man, like we can't really do that anymore, you know? Like we need to like share information, and modern media, like the news and things like that, they just don't do a good enough job at really showing us the impact that is happening. And, you know, I know you, Fruity, especially, and we've had conversations about this of what we can do on our platform to do more. And I think 2020 is that kind of year of realizing that there's a lot that we can do, you know?
That's well spoken, because there's a lot of, this is like the year where there's so many people polarizing and sharing opinions on Twitter more than ever. And it just, you're getting lost in a sea of things. I think that's why people are doing that whole Blackout Tuesday, is just to say nothing so the people, just to not carry out their usual activities so people with the voices that need to be heard are heard, like to amplify that. But it's been hectic to get the right information, and people are so quick to spread something incorrectly, and it's been crazy this year. By 10, it's been nuts.
You know, the scary thing about this corona stuff is the stuff about a second wave coming. You know, like, geez, like after this is all said and done, like, what do you guys think? Do you think there will be a second wave if we start to ease up? Because it's my opinion that there will be a second wave. However, I don't think countries such as New Zealand and Australia will have it hit us as hard, I don't think. But in other places, it could be catastrophic. It could be huge.
My biggest thing about it, right, it started off with like, well, I mean, I guess nobody knows the actual origin. It's like, even that, there's a lot of conspiracies about how it even like started and stuff. But let's say it started with one person, right? And the reason it's so deadly is because it spreads so easily. You know, it's not like killing off most people with like really good immune systems, but just the fact that it can be spread so easily is the biggest thing about it, right? What's to stop, even if we eradicate 99.9% of it, right? But there's still like a few people in the world that have it, and then we just let up on restrictions of it. What's to stop it from just spreading that easily again? And just, you know what I mean? Like, why? I fully believe that there'd be a second wave, because it's like if you don't fully eradicate it or you don't find a vaccine for it, what's to stop it from just coming back immediately?
I think that's the sense of turmoil, is we need a vaccine for a disease that is so easily caught. And on one hand, you're saying, you know, people need to go back to their lives or else the economy will fail and we will just be entrenched in more poverty. But on the other hand, I don't want to die. And how can I work if I'm dead, right? So there's these two kind of like, you know, there's these two kind of like thoughts, and it's really hard to not kind of look at modern science and say, we need a vaccine. And I think that's what everyone in the science community is working so hard towards. It's just it's crazy. It's really crazy how fast everything happened as well, right? Like one day it was okay, and then the next day it was like, we're shutting it all down. And then
so at the start of this year, it was like we just got out of like the bushfires, and we're like, oh, it's just like this disease that's going around. Everyone's catching this disease. And then we're like, oh, yeah, well, better stay inside for 2 days, I guess. And we were like, laugh about it. And the next day, it's like, yeah, the city's in lockdown. Everybody needs to stay at home. Gyms are closed. Businesses are closed. Everybody needs to panic. It's like, didn't know.
Man.
Didn't know it was that bad.
It went fires and then floods and then...
Give Australia a break. I know the coronavirus isn't specifically Australia, but we just got bushfires. Can we have a break, please?
And we got a flood right after that.
We got the bushfires, then it flooded. How the fuck did that even happen? Where was that water on the fires? Why didn't we flood the fires?
Oh, but you know what I'm most pissed about? Is I'm trying to get me license and I can't go and get it because of the fucking restrictions.
So here's the thing, because you've been saying it for like a year now, right? And now it's like, is he just using it as an excuse?
Yeah, that's true.
And you can't prove that to anybody else.
It's driving me mad.
Oh my God.
People are like, oh, he's just not going to get it ever. You just use Corona as an excuse.
I check the website every day. I swear to God, I get me wallet out. I enter me ID information, and it always comes up. It's like sorry, the gyms are opening, but we can't teach you how to drive. It's like, I need me a license as well.
Where's the first place you drive when you get your license? Where's the first place you go?
I tell you what, I put on my sunnies, right? I put on my sunnies.
Step one, sunnies, yeah.
And if anyone's heard the Drive soundtrack, you know the... Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, yeah, sounds
dun,
familiar.
dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun,
Okay, yeah, I think we got it.
dun, dun. And I'm just gonna like one hand on the wheel, my other hand on the clutch.
You don't drive a manual though, so
Yeah, I know, but
it's automatic.
Shut
So
up,
you're just
Baz.
gonna have one hand on the
shut
wheel
up.
for
Yeah,
no reason.
I'm gonna one hand on the wheel, one hand on me clutch.
Where's like your destination though? You've got like your soundtrack and how you're holding the wheel.
Yeah, I was setting it up for the scene,
Okay, yeah. So I think the scene's set.
and then I'm driving to the snowy mountains.
That's the first place you're gonna drive once you get
Yeah.
your license.
Some snowy mountains, anywhere in particular.
Just some snowy mountains, you know, and I'm just gonna drive to that. And I'm gonna change a tire out there.
Amongst the snow?
Yeah, amongst the snow like a man. I'm gonna
get a flat tire in the snow.
flat
Good
tire, get a little stranded and have to make like a fire. That'll be lit.
Oh, you're gonna strain yourself on purpose.
Yeah,
so that you have to use like your own ingenuity to get out.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop my own tire
Yeah.
while driving, skid off the road, off a cliff, but survive. Be out there, Jon Snow style, Game of Thrones shit. Man, that show was.
I would love to see
terrible
you
ending.
be thrown into like a jungle for the night and have it like all recorded and just see like how you would survive. Like
Have you
legitimately no water, no food, just literally thrown out with like a knife and be like, all right, you got 3 days, you got to survive.
Have you seen Tropic Thunder and the guy that gets lost out there and like kills a panda?
Wait,
That's
you killing
me.
Panda? Well, there's no pandas.
We didn't have
here.
pen.
A koala then. Oh man,
Oh.
that
koala.
man, that ain't right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry, koalas. Oh man, should have said that. Oh.
Just after the bushfires, come on, they're just recovering.
Is there anything, Fruity, that really impacted you during like having to stay indoors and all that stuff? Like, I can't get my license, which is, you know, an immoral tragedy. But what has like impacted you?
I like to think it's a karma in procrastination.
Yeah, I never procrastinate, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, never procrastinate.
Yeah, same. No, actually, because I think we're all lucky that we got to just carry on as usual. But then, yeah, no, I can't say that there's anything.
Nothing. You're fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no
Jesus.
complaints, but then I
I've
got
said
too
this-
comfortable.
I've said this to a few people. I think the saddest thing is through the pandemic, if you've realized your life hasn't actually changed that much when there's a global pandemic and the entire, like, half the country is shut down, I feel like there's something wrong with us there. That literally nothing changes
I
when
didn't
half
say
the
my
world
life
gets shut
didn't
down.
change. I just said not for the
sorry, that might just
worse.
be me. I don't know. I might
I just said we're lucky.
Okay.
Stop deflecting.
I think for me, the only thing that changed was I was really starting to enjoy like going out, you know, like leaving the house and things. Even when I moved to Wollongong from Sydney, I was like going to a cafe like almost every
You're
maybe.
a cafe fucking guy.
I
You
love
the
cafes.
You're a fucking cafe
Dude,
guy.
Baz, Fruity, if you guys lived here in Wollongong, you'd get like a message every like third day, like, what's going on? Like, you want to go
I'm
to
going to Jono's
Like-
down the
like-
road for a coffee.
you want to go get a
makes
coffee
really
and just
good
sit there all
wine.
day?
Yeah.
You know? I'm not even kidding. I went to a cafe, right? And I just sat there by myself for like 2 hours.
Oh
Like,
my
just
God.
Sat there. Like with
Like with a
other
book or
that-
something, or just
With a what, sorry?
with a book, or just you
No.
just sat.
With my thoughts, with my sad thoughts.
Oh,
I mean, they do it in the movies, so...
And like someone walks into the cafe and you like lock eyes with them, trying to beg them to come over to start a conversation.
Are you talking to people at the cafe, ever?
No.
why don't you go up next time you go to a cafe? Can you go up to someone and talk to them, and then tell us about it in the podcast?
You need to start doing more stupid stuff IRL so it makes for a good story on the podcast. That's what
Yeah.
you need to do.
Yep.
That's the thing is, I'm starting to run out of stories. Starting to, like even
You gotta make
like,
new ones, then. You gotta start doing random shit every week.
It's like for today's podcast, we were like, what are we gonna do? Quarantine.
Well, that's why you get your car. Drive.
Well, if I can
You
get my
make
fucking
as many-
license.
You can make as many stories as you want.
Dude, I really do feel like when I get my car, like, and I can drive by myself,
Yeah.
like the stories are gonna go through the roof.
Yeah.
That and when I get a girlfriend, the stories are gonna go through the roof.
It's
you know.
it's weird that up until this point, you haven't realized that people have seen you as less of a man for not driving.
I couldn't believe
to
it.
tell you about it.
Like, even today, I was in an Uber, right, coming home, and I'm like, we're talking about quarantine stuff, and I was like, I can't get my license. And he's like, how old are you? I was like, oh, I'm 27. He's like, why do you have your license? He's like, what are you doing here? I was like, oh, like, you know, life, you know, just spitting out more lies.
No, you're definitely seen as a better man for driving. I can say as a man who drives.
And when I buy my Mustang GT 500, then I'm definitely going to be a man.
You guys are going to be 30 soon. You ever talked about that on the podcast?
Oh,
you guys will start mentioning getting the 30.
Fruity, your womb is drying up.
One of my friends from Overwatch.
Sorry, Fruity.
Oh, what did you say?
Keep talking, Bazz. Please keep talking.
Sorry, what?
Just talk. Continue what you were thinking.
Ovaries.
Well, I just had a friend who turned 30 recently. So you're going to be in that bracket soon.
Yeah, and you're
30.
still going to be in your filthy little Zoomer bracket. Ooh.
Yeah. Dude, I realized the other day, it's like I hang out with, like, I know now, it's like, when you're an adult, it's different. Like, when you're a kid, if like a year 7 kid was hanging out with a year 12 kid, you'd be like, bro, why are you hanging out like with a year 7, you know what I mean? But now it's like 6 years apart, you know, you're all adults, it doesn't really matter. But at the same time, sometimes I'm like, wow, a lot of people I hang out with are a lot older.
No, it just means that you're wiser than your peers.
Nah,
you know?
it doesn't. He just wants to
Does.
feel young, so he hangs out with us.
That's what it must be.
Because you'll always feel young if he hangs out with us.
True. What I want you to hit 30, so I'm like, man, I got years. I got years in the 20s.
Nah, you blink, dude, and you're like our age. You
Oh,
blink.
no, I'm terrified of that.
You
I-
blink.
Don't blink.
I don't even remember 23.
Yeah, the age of 20 to now 23 has, like, sometimes I still feel like I'm 19. I don't know. It's just been a blur the last, like, 4 years.
For me, it was like 25, 24 when things seemed to speed up. And nothing hits the same, you know? Like, you're hunting for something to make you feel young again.
Don't say that.
Well, I'm about to start jumping out of airplanes, I swear to God. Like,
I would probably do that at some point. Apparently
Let's go.
bungee jumping's scarier, though.
oh, yeah, well, you just got a wire on you. Would you go bungee jumping, Fruity?
I've almost done it.
Oh, let's do it. Let's go together.
How about you guys do it? I'll film.
No, you
Yeah.
guys, you two. I've already jumped out of a plane. You two do something.
I think I'd rather do a plane than bungee jump. Is that weird?
No, that's not weird. Bungee jumping, you got to jump by yourself.
You
and
gotta
stuff.
you see the ground as well.
Yeah, you
like,
see it. You see it coming
at
you.
ya.
And you only got a fucking harness on you, string, and you got to bounce as well. You're like,
I hate the
what?
bouncing.
Oh, the bounce. Yeah, you go back up, back down.
bounce.
It's like you're not doing one jump, you're doing like multiple because you're bouncing up.
Yeah.
Another problem is like it's a terrible way to die because if the rope snaps, right, there's still friction on the rope, so it might snap enough to grievously harm you, so you don't die immediately and you have to suffer. You know, because the friction of the rope snapped to slow you down enough that you don't completely splat, but you still just, I don't know what I'm
You've
gonna...
really thought a lot about diving through bungee jumping.
I'm
man.
gonna
Is that-
keep... Never
going on,
mind.
man?
Sorry about that. But, you know,
Now
if
I'm
you're
never
like...
going bungee jumping. I don't know.
You know, if your parachute doesn't work, it's just like death. It's like, "Back!" Like just...
True.
Like you're just gone, you know? Anyway.
You think a lot about death, don't you?
Oh, man, it haunts me. Because I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this extreme, like, I want to go snowboarding. And then you see one of those clips of someone, like, snowboarding off a cliff because all the snow makes everything look like it's at the same level. Yeah, man. Oh, dude. Nah.
Well, I mean, speaking of death, that's the thing as well. You guys are older, right? But can I pose you a question? I've thought about this, yeah.
Okay.
How many people have you seen, right, over the age
Yeah.
of 50 that are 6'7"? Can I ask you that?
Oh.
How many people have you
Oh,
seen
man.
over the age of 50? There was that guy we looked
Man.
at for one of the click houses. He was pretty tall, and he was like maybe late 40s at most. I have never seen anyone taller.
And he looked
anyone
old.
older
He
than
was
that.
aging terribly.
No. He
Yeah.
looked healthy and strong.
No,
No, I think he was healthy.
He
but
was on
that's-
his way out. He was hiding.
No,
it.
that's
You
what
couldn't
that's
see,
what I
you were
mean,
too
though.
short to see.
Oh,
Oh,
Rudy, you're a little shorter than me.
Well, don't say
By
that
an
Bazz
inch.
is going to die young.
yeah,
That's
but us
upsetting me.
shorties, why do us shorties put other shorties down?
Yeah,
To suck the dicks
I'm
of
not
tall
saying
people.
You
You really
Fuck
put them
you're
down.
gonna die young.
Fuck them,
I'm
fuck
just
the
saying-
tallies.
What song do you want to play at your funeral? Because I'll probably
Jesus.
live longer than both of you, so I'll...
No, that's a good point. Yeah, no, I should probably start figuring that out. Maybe like
Some upbeat?
maybe like an anime intro or something. Like I'm about to go into like a fight or something. And have like Bazza Gazza somewhere in there. I mean, that's not my name, but...
I want you to play Hose Mad.
Hoes mad.
Yeah.
What hoes are... What, they're mad that you're dead? Who are the hoes that are mad?
Just the world. The world's
Oh,
mad.
the world is the hoe.
Yeah, like, fuck the
The
world.
world's your hoe.
Or Beat It by Michael Jackson.
Okay, those are two very different songs.
Or Take It Easy by the Eagles.
What about you, Kath? How do you
Yeah,
want
what are yours?
How do
Nah, you
want
don't need to
die?
know because I'm going to live longer, so it's fine.
Jesus, yeah, let's end it. Anyway.
Oh, you want to end on death? No, that's... No, fuck
yeah. I mean, what a
That's-
better note to end on, I guess.
That's how it all ends, isn't it?
Let's read some comments.
Man. And the YouTube comments, Hippert said 5 days ago, Fruity went all in on this episode. Love it. Felt like she didn't hold nothing back.
Is that why it's called All In? Because you go all
Yeah,
in?
because we don't hold nothing back.
Except we kind of
Yeah.
sometimes do.
Yeah, I hold everything back. I'm like, man, there's so many
Hold
more
back
opinions.
the tears, at least.
Yeah, oh my god, there's so much
Surely.
more I want to say.
Next time, perhaps.
Next time. That's why you
You'll
should
say
subscribe
more.
and keep watching.
That should be the plan if you're watching this. You should keep watching until eventually Cray has his breakdown and then he reveals
And I'm just
everything.
like, fuck it. Just-
Yeah, that's what I'd be banking on.
Oh man, it's probably coming, dude.
Cray has a different opinion on something every day, so it's
Oh.
we'd have to have
A
daily.
wise
podcasts
man
with us
once
and
said,
everything.
if you don't contradict yourself at least once every week, you're an idiot.
I don't know about the
what?
second half of that, but the first half seemed like it was true.
Yeah, you should. I added the second bit. That's my quote.
Yeah.
Someone quote that.
Oh, cool! You can have one of those quotes that gets put on a background.
Oh yeah, and they put it in like what is it, like cursive?
Yeah,
It's like dash creator. Like if you don't contradict yourself once a week, you're an idiot.
that's meaningful. There's another one that says from Cuddle Cross, amazing podcast. Love the debates in more heated situations. I would love to see more debate style and opinion conversations. That's a good idea. We should do an episode where we both like get given a side of an argument and we have to
You
just.
should debate and then you have a referee. That
Yeah,
sides
do you
with
want to be the referee, Baz?
I'll referee for you.
Let's do is God real, and I'll be on the side that he is real.
We can do multiple
Oh.
topics.
Because I want to take the hard one.
You really want that one, don't
I
you?
want to take the hard one. I want to show you
Yeah,
atheists.
Cray,
that
didn't you say you did debating or something? We should give Cray the
Yeah.
hard one. Yeah.
Give me the hard one. I'll
we could.
fucking
Sky's
demolish you.
blue, he argues it's not.
Let's do that. Let's do that soon.
Oh, yeah.
So you do that, dickhead.
So Fruity comes in. She's like, my argument is simply sky's blue. It's just like, oh man, I've lost.
We're doing that soon. That's a good idea. Thank you, Cuddle Cross, for that. And thank you all for listening.
Thank you for listening. Always, always
Go all in.
go all in. Always and stay cray.